Good morning. My name is Leslie. I'm your occupational therapist, and Dr. Smith gave you a referral to see me. So I just wanted to see how you're doing today.
I'm doing okay. Doing all right.
What's going on?
Well, I just moved back home. I was in college at an Ivy League school, and I got kicked out, so I had to move back home.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit more about that. What led to you being kicked out?
Well, I went out there, and I was really homesick, and so I kind of just lost motivation to really focus, and I was doing a little too much partying, and I started drinking a lot, and I just kind of stopped going to my classes, didn't want to do my work, and so I got called in by the dean at the end of the semester, and they told me I was on academic probation.
Yeah. Sounds like being away from home was very traumatic for you.
Yeah, it was really hard. I didn't think it was going to be, but it was really difficult for me. I was really lonely.
Oh, yeah, that's actually very common. But, in occupational therapy, we can together work on your areas that you haven't been happy with and help you be more independent and more satisfied and attain your goals and just, all around have a better life for yourself. So I'd like to get started by finding a little bit more about you, and I have some questions to ask you about the activities that you like to do and things that you might do on a daily basis and goals for your future that you see yourself accomplishing and just things like that. And it'll take a few minutes, so just humor me and we'll get through this.
All right.
So we're going to start out with your childhood and the interactions that you had as a child. Do you find that you played with other kids your age or not?
Mostly just my brothers. I mean, I have 3 younger brothers, and my mom, she was working and going to school, so we lived with our family, and so they were kind of my family, and my siblings were the only people I hung out with a lot. So yeah, just my brothers.
Okay, and then as far as role models go, when you were a child, did you learn to do things like ride a bike, or what kind of things did you enjoy doing as a kid?
I mean, we didn't really have a lot. It was just my mom, and so we didn't have very much money, so we didn't have a lot of things to do outside of the house. We usually just played by ourselves and just made our own games. We didn't really have a lot to play with, but I mean, we did a lot of stuff with our tribe, and so we'd go out a lot and do things with them. But
some of the best toys are boxes and things like that.
Yeah,
you have to get the fancy stuff.
We would have fun. It was good.
So teenagers are, a lot of times, they have a lot of conflict with their families. I mean, what was that like for you as a teenager?
It was hard. My mom wasn't at home because she was working and in school, and we had to live with my uncle, and he was rough to live with. Didn't really have a lot of role models outside of my grandmother and my mother.
And what made him rough to live with?
Well, he was an alcoholic, and he would drink a lot. My mom didn't really know a lot about it because she was gone so often, and he definitely had anger problems, and he used to hit my brothers and I pretty violently, and so it didn't really have a lot of good role models, especially from males in my life.
And this is the person that you spent a lot of time around.
Yeah, my mom kicked him out right before I started 6th grade, and so he was gone, and now he died from alcoholism, and so we don't have to really worry about that anymore. So most of the role models that I have, positive ones, would be my mother and my grandmother.
So now going into talking about school, have you, to get back into school and let's say we can get control of the the partying and the alcohol and all that, I mean, how would you like to see your school performance improve?
Well, I mean, I've never been that big about getting good grades. I just more like to learn the information.
But you got into that Ivy League school.
I did, I know. They really like the token Native Americans, so that's probably how I got in. But I mean, I do well, and I get good scores, but my focus really wasn't, a lot of people just like to memorize, and I like to really know the information. So even if I don't get A's, it's not that big of a deal for me. But I mean, right now I don't know if I want to go back to school or what I want to do for work. I just feel kind of stuck, and I've just been kind of hanging out around the house and drinking a lot. I haven't really had much motivation to go do anything else.
So when you were in school, I mean, you'd be done with school and then would you just be alone, or would you immediately go out with your friends and party?
I mean, sometimes I partied, sometimes I drank alone. I mean, or I would just sit at home alone. I didn't really go out too much with people to like have fun. It was more of a distraction. So, but yeah, I wouldn't really have a lot of activities. I just kind of just go out.
So I had some questions about the kind of responsibilities you had, growing up. At home, what kind of responsibilities did your parents give you?
Responsibilities?
Chores, that kind of thing.
I mean, just general stuff. I mean, I'm the oldest of three, so I just do small things like help pick up around the house and stuff. But my mom always told us that our number one responsibility was to kind of just focus on school and make a better life for ourselves. That way we didn't have to struggle the way that she had to and the way that a lot of our family has had to. So I think that was our biggest responsibility growing up.
So money was, like you mentioned, that it was hard to come by.
Yeah.
So how did you obtain your spending money as a kid, a teenager?
I didn't have spending money. I didn't really have much. Yeah, I never worked in school. I just kind of went to class, and that was my number one priority. So I never really had much spending money. I used to ask my mom to kind of buy clothes for us because a lot of the kids at school had much nicer things. I went to a private high school, and they had a lot of really nice things, and the clothes I wore were very out of date and old. So I used to ask my mom to kind of help me with that, but she just couldn't have the means to do it. So I actually went through a little phase, and I was stealing from stores and from open lockers at school, and I actually got caught one time, so I stopped doing that. But yeah, so that was kind of, I didn't really have much money, so that was what I resorted to.
Well, it sounds like, I mean, you accomplished so much by getting into these great schools, and I'm sure your family was really proud of that. Yeah,
my grandma used to brag about it a lot, but it makes me uncomfortable. So I don't really like to talk about it very much because I just got lucky.
So when you were in school, did you feel like you were fairly treated by the instructors?
Yeah, the instructors were always really nice. It was more the students that I felt like I had to impress. The instructors were always pretty fair, though.
So they didn't give you any problem because of that?
No, they were actually really excited that I was there. And it was never really my heritage that seemed to be the problem. It was more of just my kind of socioeconomic background. Not necessarily with the teachers, again, more with the students. They kind of, I couldn't really relate to them, and they couldn't relate to me most of the time.
So you felt kind of uncomfortable around them?
Yeah, I mean, I guess with my heritage a little bit, because not that they would point anything out, but I just felt like they couldn't relate to some of the things that I did with my life and the time I spent with my family and the things that were important to us. So I felt kind of like an outcast, and then I couldn't really share those things with the friends that I was trying to make.
And what kind of activities did you enjoy the most in school?
Well, we were part of a Native American church, and so in school or outside of school?
Well, how about in school and then outside?
In school, I mean, I like class. Class was good. I mean, I like going to school. And then once I got a little bit older, I started going to, doing some sports, and I actually started to make a lot of friends my junior, senior year, but a lot of it was kind of because I kind of lied about a lot of things about my life to kind of make it seem a little bit better than it was. But
well, together let's see what we can do and see if we can make some headway on this and get you back where you want to be and make a better start for you.
Okay.